Good morning all. Welcome to Excel Civils Academy. And today's session will be the third in the series of the 5 history orientation sessions we had planned. So let's get into the session. And today's session will be dealing with the modern India. As I've already previously said in the sessions that it's good that you watch these 5 sessions in a sequential order so that you can benefit the most. Now, if you remember from the previous sessions, when we discussed about the different components of history, within Indian history, we had ancient, medieval, modern and all. Now, if you look at modern India, what is modern India associated with? Modern India was associated with the British rule in India. Now, this was a period when India was dominated by a foreign power, the Britain. And for how long do we find this period? The British ruled India for roughly around 200 years, 1757 to 1947, that is roughly around 190 years. So you can round it off to 200 years the British had ruled us. But then we start modern India slightly 50 years before this from 1707. So this 1707 to 1947, roughly coming around to 240 years, which you can say approximately as 250 years. This is what you will study in modern India, the British rule in India. Now, as I said, these are only orientation sessions. We really cannot go into the subject. But these orientation sessions are there to give you all an idea as to what you will get in the subject. Okay. And how to deal with them, some techniques and all these things. So now, when you hear the word British rule in India, 2 things must flash in your minds. Okay. What is that? You have India, and who was ruling India? Britain. And where is Britain? You can imagine Britain is so far away in another continent called Europe. From Europe, these people were ruling India. Is it so easy? No. You see this? Can I say, if you just compare the size of India, such a huge country, and you see the size of Britain even today, England, Britain, UK, United Kingdom, such a small country here. That is, such a small country like Britain was able to rule such a big country like India, and that too from so far away a place, a distance, so far away a distance. Now, you can imagine that this task was not easy. A small country like Britain is ruling such a big country like India from so far away place, as if they were remote controlling India's fate. Yes or no? Those masters sitting there, they are ruling India here. And if you look at the impact of British rule, you can see it even today. Right now, what is the language that I am speaking in? English language, right? Is English language our own mother tongue? Was it born in India? No. English is their language. But still, even today, although the British rule came to an end, the effects of that rule have not come to an end. Yes, economically and politically, India may have gained independence, but still, to some extent, culturally, we are under the influence of the British rule, and that's the reason I'm speaking to you all in English. And instead of Britain, if India would have been ruled by France, we would have been speaking in French language. Okay, so the impact of the British rule is very, very high on Indian present day conditions. Okay, so now how shall we study this entire modern India? The first point we should know is how modern India is different from other components. For example, if you look at world history, it is only for mains. You don't have it for pre. And then if you look at Indian history, inside Indian history, if you look at ancient and medieval, you will have it for only prelims. And post-independence, it is only mains. Whereas if you take modern, it is having both for prelims and mains. So naturally, that is the component which enjoys the greatest weightage. Yes, modern India has the greatest weightage both in the preliminary examination as well as in the mains. Maximum questions come from modern India. That doesn't mean we are reducing the importance of other components. No, you have to study those also. But still, this one has to be given a greater importance. And because modern India is there for both prelims and for mains, you have to take care of both factual things as well as the concepts, or the conceptual part also has to be taken care of. Okay. Now we will try to see how this can be studied. Entire modern India, 250 years of history. Now, the essence of modern India, you can say it just in two ways, two topics you can write the essence. Like, the British ruled India, no, for some time, yes, which means they should have come to India first. How did they come? Did they come with the intention of ruling India? No, they actually came as traders. And when they started trading with India, because India has always been a very rich country before the British came, so that's the reason they were coming from so far away area to India to trade with us. But when they were trading with India, they found that India lacked unity within us. Our kings were fighting among themselves and all these things were happening. So the British trader who came as a company, trading company, they started interfering in our internal matters. And very soon they understood that Indian kings and kingdoms are not so strong as they seem to be. And over a period of time, the British started defeating one kingdom after the other and eventually occupied entire India. Okay, so the first half of the syllabus will be the establishment of British rule in India, that is, and their policies. That is, how did the British conquer India? Yes or no? How did the British conquer India? What will you study here? You will study all the wars and you will study the other diplomatic methods by which they got control over the entire country. Obviously, entire India would not have fallen under their control in one day, right? They should have waged several wars. Yes, all of those things we will first study. How did they defeat Indian kingdoms and gain control over India? After getting control over India, they became the masters of India. What is their main aim? Their main aim is to loot the wealth of this country. So they had to rule this country, and to rule this, to exploit our resources, they came out with several policies. So then we will actually see the British policies in India. And in the British policies, we will see about their political policies, their administrative policies, we will see their social policy, cultural policy, economic policy, all the different policies we will study. And you ask yourself, all these things, do you think they would have done for our benefit or for their own benefit? Naturally, it was all for their benefits. So you can imagine all these policies, you can continue down, I am writing on the top. They will have some impacts on Indian society and economy. Yes, naturally. So, on one hand we will study how did they come, how did they defeat Indian kingdoms, conquer India, how did they rule India, with what kind of policies, and what was the impact of these policies on us. And naturally, although there have been some positive impacts, we cannot deny that, but for the most part, the impact of the British rule on India was utterly negative. So, when there is so much of negative impact on India, what will happen? Will Indians revolt or no? Yes, Indians will try to revolt. So, the second aspect of the essence of modern India will be the Indian resistance. Yes, they came like, just imagine, it's like a virus which has attacked an organism. So, organism will suffer for some time, but after a time, the organism will recuperate its strength and kick out the virus. So, this is the second part. So, here I am equating British with virus and the organism with India. So, till now we were seeing how the virus was attacking, and now we will see how the organism or India will kill that virus and kick it away. So, that is Indian resistance. And here you will learn something about what we call as the national movement. There are several other aspects, but then because this is just an orientation session, I am just giving the most important aspects. Okay. And in this national movement, we will read about very famous personalities like Bal Gangadhar Tilak, Dadabhai Nauroji. All of these people have contributed their own towards the freedom of country. Bhagat Singh and several more, Mahatma Gandhi, many people like this. Each of these leaders was contributing something towards the freedom of India, and eventually after a long drawn struggle, particularly you will see there were 5 movements within the national movement. You will have small 5 movements like Swadeshi movement, Home Rule movement, Non-Cooperation movement, Civil Disobedience movement, and finally Quit India movement. Due to all these intensifying anger against the British, finally we were able to kick out the British in 1947. But then in 1947 India gained independence. But did India gain independence with complete India, or was India broken into Pakistan also? Yes, that you will say as a negative aspect of our national movement. Our national movement failed in bringing the unity between the Hindus and Muslims, as a result of which the Muslims, not all Muslims, but a few of them started saying that we cannot stay together with the Hindus and we want a separate country. And as a result, some Muslims, particularly led by a person, Muhammad Ali Jinnah, they went and formed a separate country for themselves called Pakistan. But still, a lot of Muslims stayed back in India only, and so that is how you will see in 1947 India got freedom from the British, but also broke down into 2 parts, that is India and Pakistan. Okay, all of these aspects will be dealt in greater detail in the classroom course. This is only an orientation to give you all an overview, to make you understand, oh, this is what we will have in modern India, and this is how we will try to study it. That's it, as simple as that. And then if you really wish to start any self-study on this, again I will definitely recommend the basic NCERT textbooks. Okay, but if you remember in a previous session I gave a small a caution that NCERT books are the base books, there is no doubt about it, but whatever is given in the NCERT, do you think that is only the truth? There is no other dimension? Nothing like that. What we do in the classroom is we use the NCERT as a base, but whenever there are some controversial aspects in the NCERT, we will try to add the new dimensions which come from the new research from different sections of society, because the interpretations will be different. Okay, but still for a basic study, if you wish, you can start with the NCERTs, which again I will give you 3 NCERTs. 1, Themes in Indian History. It will be volume 3. Our Past Again, volume 3, because volume 1 and 2 are ancient medieval, 3 is modern. And then there is a book called Modern India by an author Bipin Chandra. All are NCERT books. This is class 12th, I guess. Okay. But then, as I said, these will give you base, but they are not sufficient. There are new points, both facts and new perspectives that we need to add to these and enrich them, which we'll do in the classroom course. Okay. I hope these sessions at least are giving you a basic idea as to what you need to do and what you will get in the classroom course over here. Fine. I'm done with the session. Again, I'll meet you with the last session, that is on post-independence. Thank you.